Rise and shine. This is your morning Buzzcast for Monday, April 7th. I'm Austin Karp. It's National Championship Day. Florida Gators versus Houston Cougars. CBS tonight. Tip-off just before 9 p.m. Eastern. And based on the audience numbers we saw on Saturday from the Final Four, this could be the best national title game since COVID. So let's break down those Final Four numbers from Saturday, shall we? 15.3 million viewers for the doubleheader on CBS. That's per Fast National figures from Nielsen, so expect that to rise just a little bit from that number. Houston's epic comeback against Duke led the way with 16 million in the late window. That's the best for any men's semifinal since the Duke-North Carolina matchup in 2022. That was Coach K's last game as well. Hell of a game on Saturday night. I had written Houston off, but that's why you play the full 40, folks. In the early window, Florida's win over Auburn, 14.6 million. That's the best early men's Final Four window since 2017. Tough end of the season for Bruce Pearl's club. After the loss, I loved seeing Auburn alum Charles Barkley there just before the tunnel, shaking hands with everyone on that team on their way to the locker room on a hell of a season. Really nice to see that. But the strong Final Four now means the overall men's tourney is up 2% in viewership heading into tonight's title game. I would definitely take the over on the number from last year for that UConn-Purdue game that was on TBS, True TV, and TNT, which means it's going to be a nice gain for the men's event. That'll be 2 straight years of audience games for the men's dance. But while we'll get an answer as to the men's tourney winner tonight, one answer not likely coming on Monday, at least per NCAA President Charlie Baker, will be from Judge Claudia Wilken on approval of the House settlement from the bench. Wilken is set to preside today over a final approval hearing regarding the proposed settlement in the House, Hubbard, and Carter antitrust cases in the Northern District of California. Now, once basketball is done, this issue is going to be the biggest thing on everyone's mind in college sports. It's been a huge issue, but now football's done, basketball's done, it's going to be on the front burner for just about everybody in college sports. A settlement would be the culmination of 5 years of litigation and absolutely create a new era in college sports. But the House settlement doesn't even address some lingering concerns over whether college athletes, particularly those in football and men's basketball, ought to be classified as employees, so plenty left to figure out there in the college space, even once this decision comes down. Now, sticking with college, congrats to UConn on the school's 12th NCAA Women's Basketball Championship. Hard to believe it's been 9 years since the Huskies last won a women's title, but they dominated South Carolina on Sunday afternoon. Never really a close game. 82-59 the final there. We'll now keep an eye out for the audience number from that ABC ESPN telecast. We know it's going to be a sharp drop from the South Carolina-Iowa game last year, obviously driven by Caitlin Clark. And with the blowout this year, can the number match what LSU-Iowa drew 2 years ago? Again, Caitlin Clark in that game. We'll see now. I think it's going to be slightly under. I've talked about that with my colleague Molly Cahalan on our media podcast. But Paige Becker's this tournament show why she's a worthy number 1 overall pick. Another big name to pay attention to as the 2025 WNBA season gets started soon. But her teammate and Final Four MVP, AZ Fudd, is returning to stores for another season in 25-26. And likely with no Juju Watkins due to injury, she won't be at USC for the start of the season at least, and likely most of the season. Fudd is going to be a marquee name to watch in the sport next season. Keep an eye on her. Let's move over to a topic continuing to dominate headlines in the U.S., and it's President Trump's tariffs. Abe Madkour on the Buzzcast on Friday talked about how he is hearing about worries related to construction costs for venues and the live event ticketing business, a fear supported when StubHub late Friday delayed its own IPO. Then late last week, NASCAR Commissioner Steve Phelps said his sport is keeping close tabs on how tariffs could impact auto racing. NASCAR has around 26 single-source suppliers that all teams must use, and some of those are from outside the U.S. So supplies for sporting leagues, auto racing in particular, another key area to watch. And while some stock futures do not look good for Monday on the whole, some brands exposed to a country like Vietnam, like Nike, stocks for those companies actually soared on Friday when the country signaled it wants to cut their tariffs down to zero with the U.S. So, as individual nations make their own tariff decisions, the sports-related entities doing business in those countries, that's something to absolutely keep an eye on. But it's not just materials and goods being impacted here. like with StubHub's decision to delay its IPO, deal flow is something that is going to be affected here. Coming into the Trump regime, M&A activity in media in particular was supposed to be lively. A lot were optimistic about the opportunities there, but that didn't materialize even before the tariff plan. And now, Trump's tariffs could put many of those plans on ice. The simple fact is that a company cannot make a big call like that on a sale or a merger in this economic climate if tariffs are going to be removed, more implemented, or even just taken away on a whim. Let's move beyond Pennsylvania Avenue to Magnolia Lane. It's Masters Week down in Augusta, and in SBJ this week, my colleague Josh Carpenter surveyed over 40 high-level golf industry stakeholders to gauge who are the most marketable players in the sport right now. No surprise, 68% of respondents say it's still Tiger Woods. He's still the needle mover. At number 2, his TGL business partner and tour loyalist Rory McIlroy. Then at number 3, a LIV Tour player, Bryson DeChambeau. He's one of only 2 LIV players in the top 10. Rounding out the top 5 players were Scottie Scheffler and Jordan Spieth. But maybe the most interesting, to me at least, was number 6, Ludvig Åberg, the young Swedish golfer who played at Texas Tech, finished number 2 in the Masters last year, already played well for a Ryder Cup team, and has the look of a superstar in the making. He has to be one of the young guns to keep an eye out, and everyone on this list agreed. For the full top 25, check out SBJ this morning, and if you're in Augusta this week, SBJ's Josh Carpenter and Abe Matko are going to be on the grounds. Drop them a line if you're headed that way. Let's wrap things up with some quick hitters this morning. The Pirates had to do a mea culpa when they removed a number 21 logo dedicated to Roberto Clemente that was on the right field wall. They put up an ad for Surfside alcohol. Team president Travis Williams took the blame on this one, said the logo would be added back after an outcry from fans and the family of the late Clemente. Today, the Kroenke organization announced more mixed-use plans for the organization, rolling out designs for a 52-acre development in Warner Center in Woodland Hills, California, that will be known as Rams Village at Warner Center. This is part of around 100 acres acquired by Kroenke in 2022 and will include the permanent headquarters and training facility for the NFL team. Designed by Gensler, the mixed-use development will feature residential, retail, office space, hotel, indoor entertainment venues, and abundant parks. The news from Kroenke comes amid plans in Denver for a 55-acre commercial and residential district area around Ball Arena, that's the home to the Nuggets and the Avalanche, that Kroenke plans to develop into a 10 to 12 million square foot mixed-use neighborhood. We've talked a lot about F1's media rights on the block in the US, but what about the whole enchilada itself? A report from the London Times notes F1 owner Liberty Media is holding off from selling the series right now and is likely to go to market next year. If you're thinking of potential buyers, you have to be thinking of those sovereign wealth funds from the Arabian Peninsula, particularly where a number of F1 races are held, so something to watch out there for in 2026. After hitting 10,000 season tickets sold, the Golden State Valkyries got another business win on Friday, becoming one of only around 6 WNBA teams to strike a local media deal with a rights fee. While there won't be a marquee player name in the Bay Area this season for the Valkyries, that hasn't stopped business around the club at all. The upstart club keeps humming along ahead of its debut in a couple of weeks. Rob Manfred gave an interview to the New York Times over the weekend, and beyond some standard answers, I liked his response on revenue disparity being a massive problem for MLB. The commissioner said the league sells entertainment, and that's based on competition. And if people don't believe there's competition, you've got a product problem, an existential problem for your business. Now, that's just the truth for baseball. The top of the pyramid has to be closer to the bottom. So once again, buckle up for what are going to be contentious MLB labor talks coming soon to a market near you. And 2 final shout-outs this morning. One is to Heat owner Mickey Arison for making the Basketball Hall of Fame. In true Arison fashion, he deflected all credit to the team's execs and players. Arison has been an owner generally in the background in Miami, and you only really see him, or at least casual sports fans only see him, when he's on the court holding up one of the 3 Larry O'Brien trophies that the Heat have won. And another shout out to Alex Ovechkin, who broke Wayne Gretzky's NHL career scoring record on Sunday afternoon, 895 goals and counting for Ovi. The accomplishment even led business and political-minded newsletters this morning like Morning Brew and Political Playbook. NHL Commissioner Gary Bettman, Gretzky and his wife Janet, and Capitals owner Ted Leonsis took part in an on-ice celebration with Ovi's family. Players were on the ice. Even the Islanders lined up to give a handshake to Ovi. The Caps are opening up a special Ovi shop at Capital One Arena starting this morning. I'd expect a ton of merch to be moving for this milestone. So that is your morning Buzzcast for Monday, April 7th. I'm Austin Karp. Abe Madcore is back on the mic again tomorrow morning. Everyone make good choices out there, and I will speak to you all again soon.